morning, everyone. I've changed my mind. I'm not going to do Series of Moments as the prelude. I'm going to do Over the Rainbow.
I know.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are so blue, oh so blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, yeah, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, pretty little bluebirds fly so high, oh so high. Birds, they fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
My gracious, Reverend Renee. I know we're in for a real delight today because we have John Johnson giving the message, but I guess we can all go home now. I'm full. Woo! That's one of my favorite songs, and I've never heard it delivered so well. Yeah. Thank you. Well, good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fayetteville. You're all very fortunate to be here today, as well as myself. My name is Joanna, and I am, I've been around here since 2018, and I'm involved in the Green Sanctuary program and on the justice team and such. And, for those of you that may be new here or, friends, and UU is a religious tradition that values freedom in religious thought on our spiritual journeys. We don't have a dogma or a creed that we follow. We have values and principles that we agree upon. So we believe in the interconnections and connections to each other and to the natural world and to all of life. We affirm universality of love and hope as we journey together in community. And we welcome you, whoever you are at this moment and wherever you are in your spiritual journey. If you're joining us online, we're so happy to have you with us today. Thank you. And if you're new, you can check out our website for all kinds of new information. We also have a wonderful newsletter that you might want to sign up for that really keeps you abreast of the goings on around here, because we are a busy bunch doing good things in the world, trying our best. If you're visiting with us for the first time, we do have visitor cards in the seat back in front of you. They're usually white. Yes, thank you. And we'd love for you to fill one out if you'd like, and you can get that newsletter if you'd like through that. So later in the service, we're also going to have a time that we're going to invite you forward. It's part of our ritual, and we're going to drop stones, and it's a rich experience because we share in our joys and our concerns in life, as well as our milestones in life with one another. And that just, deepens our empathy and understanding for one another and our sense of togetherness. So you are welcome to do that, but you don't have to if you don't feel like that. Doing it today, you can just observe and enjoy it that way. You will also have an opportunity to fill out a yellow card if you want to, as part of that process in sharing your joys and your concerns. And you can designate on the card if you would like those shared out loud or not. If you share them online in the chat function, we welcome you to do that. Those cannot be kept confidential. Just be aware of that. If you need any hearing assistance, we have a wonderful AV Tech, David, who just stood up. He'll be happy to help you with that. We love having people of all ages in the service. But for your own comfort level and theirs, if you have a child with you that wants to step out and do something else, that's fine. We also have a nursery that's staffed downstairs. And just try to remember to silence your cell phones as well. So today's service is titled, "Oh, the Good Old Days," which I just find so intriguing. It's a phrase that really evokes a smile, as you can see, and I think it invites memories and reflection on our past and what we don't want and what we might want to carry forward in our current life and into the future. And we're in for a real treat, because if you've ever heard John Johnson, then you know that he has a unique gift for weaving humor and insight and storytelling that really leaves us nourished emotionally and spiritually, with rich and useful reflections that are no doubt going to carry on with us long after the service. So now I think Edith is going to come forward and light our chalice. I'm going to light it, and she's going to talk to you about it.
We can all say this together. Love is the spirit of this community, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and truth, and to help one another, thus do we covenant together.
Thank you for those kind words. I was starting to look around and try to figure out who she was talking about. Mark Twain once commented, "When I was young, I could remember anything, whether it happened or not." While most of us have some cherished memories about the past, our past in particular, time often has a way of distorting things, don't you think? especially the way it so often causes us to forget. Memories can be pretty selective. So why don't we think for a few moments about our memories this morning and see what they might have to tell us, what they might mean for us today.
Friends, our opening hymn is called Joy in the Morning. Now, we have done this twice so far in the past few weeks because it's going to be the opening hymn at my installation on April 12th. And so I want us to all be able to, there be lots of visitors there then, and from all over the place, other UU ministers and other ministers, and I want to impress them. And so I want you to feel super comfortable with the hymns. So Joy in the Morning. And one other thing, the second verse says, we find hope in our children. I want you to know that that's the collective, our children. You could also say the children. Children in general. You do not have to be a parent to identify with that second verse. All right, rise as you are willing and able. We'll find joy in the morning. Beautiful. You may be seated. It's moments like that where I miss Brenda. Sure do. Miss Brenda. It's hard to play that one. Okay, keep going.
Well, as I shared earlier about joys and concerns, this is that time in our service, and you're invited to come to the front and drop a stone, or maybe more than one, for your joy or your concern or your milestone. You know, maybe something big has happened in your life recently that you'd like to share. You can share those confidentially or share those in your heart. And if you filled out a card, you can bring it to me. On the card, please indicate whether your comment is confidential or to be shared. And and if you're attending virtually, again, you know, feel free to share, but those are not confidential. So come on forward whenever you're ready, and you don't have to. have a lot of joys today. Yeah, kind of feels like we need those, huh? Yeah. Let's drop a whole bunch of stones for all the joys. We had a lot of joys today. Right on. That makes us happy deep down in our souls, doesn't it? For one another. Let's see. We've got a concern. From Jacob. Is it shareable? I'm deeply concerned about the Iranian people and hoping that we stop this war soon. Most definitely. Let's drop some big old stones for that one. Let's put a lot of intention into those. And then we have a milestone. Beware the Ides. It looks anonymous. There are lessons to be learned from history. Indeed. Indeed. All right. Let's take a moment and just reflect and hold space in our hearts for these joys, these concerns, and these milestones in the Ides of March. Take some deep breaths and some slow exhales. It's so soothing to our nervous systems. Why not do it some more? Welcome back. Reverend Renee's going to help us with our offering.
Dear ones, it is a ritual on Sunday mornings in our fellowship that we take up an offering. It's good to remind ourselves from time to time that the offering is symbolic as well as practical. We know that it is through pledges that we build our budget and fund our yearly programs and pay our staff and finance the comfort and beauty of our building and grounds and so much more. And we know that we could easily just submit those pledge checks or click the donate button at the church anytime it's convenient. And of course, you totally can. That's fine. But this ritual of passing the plate during our Sunday service makes a community expression of thanks, of the blessing of abundance, to visibly bring in the harvest at this most cherished hour of our week. Our offering says that the act of giving is as essential to our spiritual well-being as anything else we do here on a Sunday morning. The morning offering will now be given and received in the spirit of grateful fellowship. That's next Sunday. Next Sunday's Share the Plate with New Beginnings. Thank you, Brooke. Sous le ciel de Paris s'envole une chanson. Elle est née d'aujourd'hui dans la cave un garçon. Sous le ciel de Paris marchent des amoureuses. Leur bonheur se construit sur un air parfaitueux. Sur le pont de Bercy, un philosophe assis, deux musiciens, quelques Bordeaux, puis les gens parmi eux. Sous le ciel de Paris, jusque soir vont chanter l'hymne d'un peuple pris dans son vieille cité. Près de Notre-Dame, pauvre couvre un drame. Oui, mais un puname de pousse rongé. Tout le ciel de Paris coule un fleuve joyeux. Il endort dans la nuit le clochard ou le gueux. Sous le ciel de Paris, les oiseaux de bon Dieu viennent du monde entier pour votre et le sud de Paris a son secret pour lui. Depuis 20 siècles, il les a pris notre île Saint-Louis. Quand il et lui sourit, il met son habit de bleu. Qu'on dit plus Paris que le c'est malheureux. Quand il trop jaloux de son million d'amants, il fait gronder son tonnerre éclatante. Mais le ciel de Paris ne peut longtemps cruer pour se faire pardonner. Il offre une conseil.
Aren't we blessed with great music? I think many of us could identify with professional dreams. We have professional dreams that are often related to our line of work. One of my common and recurring dreams was I would dream that I was preaching a sermon. And then I would wake up and find out I really was. So if anybody seems to go to sleep this morning, you just wake us up with some beautiful music, okay?
It won't happen. Yes, sir.
Okay. When my sister Suzanne and I were growing up, one of our grandmothers, our grandmother Boyd, was still heating her home. Where'd we go? With a coal-burning stove, very much like this one, which meant that every fall a dump truck would come and deliver a load of coal, and then the coal had to be carried into the house in a bucket called a scuttle, to build a fire, and then the ashes, of course, had to be carried out. You would be all warm and toasty and downright hot if you were in the same room with the stove, but you would be shivering and freezing if you were in the other end of the house. The toilet was an outhouse. And when you are 6 years old, there is no greater fear than that of falling in. And nothing was colder than trudging out there in the dead of winter. The only water in the house came from a pump beside the kitchen sink. When Grandma wanted to have chicken for dinner, she would go out to the yard where the chickens ran free and pick out the chicken she wanted and either wring its neck or chop off its head with an axe. The chicken would flop around on the ground for a few minutes, and then it had to be scalded so you could pull the feathers out. I didn't show you that part because it was a grisly business. But boy, did that chicken taste good when it came out of the frying pan. All of which sort of begs the old question, why did the chicken cross the road? To get away from Grandma. Even after she sold the farm and moved into town, she continued to bake her own bread, churn her own butter, can her own jelly. And I can remember many a hot summer day when my mother and Grandma Boyd and several aunts would be sitting around in the kitchen working in the sweltering heat. And the pressure cooker would be popping and bouncing and hissing on the stove, and all the women were breaking green beans in their aprons. Grandma was born in 1888, just 23 years after the end of the Civil War. And by the time she passed away in 1984, she had lived through the invention of the automobile, the airplane, television, the atomic bomb, diet soda pop, frozen TV dinners, the pill, and women's lib, although I'm fairly certain she never burned her bra. I'm equally certain she would have been embarrassed at the mere mention of the word bra. Our grandmother Boyd was truly one of the most saintly women I've ever known. But bless her Baptist heart, she wouldn't change the way she did anything until it became literally impossible to keep doing it the old way. The most modern washing machine she ever had was one of those old-fashioned wringer washers. Anybody here ever have one of those? Your grandma did, yes, certainly. Our mother had an automatic washer, probably because there were 6 of us kids. And when Grandma came to babysit for an extended period and it became absolutely necessary to wash a load of clothes, that automatic washer scared her clear into last week. She'd put the clothes in the washer and push a button and then jump back as if she was afraid that machine would swallow her along with the clothes. Change did not come easily for Grandma. And partly because of that, and partly because of the kind of sermons she often heard at her little church, she was convinced that the end of time was near at hand, and if anything did change, it could only go from bad to worse. Now, she certainly was not the first nor the last to look back upon the past and long for the good old days. You know, that time when life was simple and happy and all was right with the world. When Grandma was 12 years old, the average life expectancy for women was only 47 years. When she passed away in 1984, the average life expectancy for women was 78, but she was 96. Grandma cheated the undertaker for 50 years. When she was 12 years old, only 14% of the homes in the country had a bathtub. When it was time for her bath on Saturday night, her mother was still heating up water on a cook stove in the kitchen and pouring it into a wash tub in the middle of the kitchen floor. When Grandma was 12, only 8% of homes had a telephone, but I think that's a change that she got into. The only lighting in her family's home was provided by coal oil lamps, and I can remember my mother talking about doing her homework by the light of those lamps. When my grandmother was a young lady, there were only 8,000 cars in the entire country and only 144 miles of paved roads. If her family went into town, they went in a horse-drawn wagon on dirt roads. The average wage was 22 cents an hour, and women could not vote. Oh, the good old days. Back when everybody knew their place and stayed in it. Now, preferring your old coal stove is certainly no great moral failure. But our collective preference for the status quo certainly might be. From Grandma's birth in 1888 until 1922, 3,465 African Americans were lynched in the United States. Many of those crimes went unpunished, and many more simply went unreported. Families often took picnic baskets to those lynchings and made it an afternoon social event. My sister and I grew up in a town sharply divided by racial segregation. In housing, there was colored town. And those families were redlined if they dared to try to buy a piece of property in some other part of the city. We were divided in housing, education, social services, and certainly with vast inequities in the justice system. And I can't help but get the feeling today that what Make America Great Again really means to some people is make America white again. Let's go back to those days. When Grandma was busy raising her family, thousands of Japanese Americans who were law-abiding citizens were rounded up and put into detention camps, many of whom lost their homes, their possessions, and their businesses. There were at least 7 recorded homicides by guards at those detention centers. And to our collective shame, the same thing is happening all over again, except to a different set of people. When my grandmother was growing up and raising her family, and when many of us were growing up, many children contracted such illnesses as measles and polio, mumps, whooping cough, and scarlet fever, and many died of those diseases. I have a distant cousin who died at the age of 12 when he stepped on a rusty nail and contracted tetanus. And even when medical science had made significant progress, those advances were most often vocally resisted by, of all people, church people. When the Scottish obstetrician Sir James Simpson discovered as long ago as the mid-1800s that chloroform could be used to ease the pain of childbirth, it was church officials who raised an outcry. After all, the Bible plainly says right there in Genesis that women would suffer in childbirth. And who are human beings to interfere with God's will? Chloroform may sound a bit primitive to our modern day ears, but it was still a long step in progress at that period of time. Perhaps not surprisingly, it was churches that also opposed women's right to vote, birth control, organ donation, blood transfusions, and equal rights for our brothers and sisters in the queer community. All as somehow contrary to the will of God. Oh, the good old days. As Melly reminded us on the last Sunday of 2025, there is comfort in the familiar, even when it's wrong. There have been so many times in history when church folks, and maybe some of the rest of us too, have behaved a little like an old-timer out in Tennessee. He was said to have bought himself a new radio. He took it home and took it out of the box and set it on the table beside his favorite chair. Then he turned it on and tuned it to WSM, which some of you may recognize as the home of the Grand Ole Opry there in Nashville. Then he turned up the volume to where he wanted it, and then took the knobs off that brand new radio and threw them away. He had already tuned in to all he ever wanted to listen to and tuned out the rest, and he didn't plan on ever changing his mind. Remember those opening lines from Charles Dickens' 1859 classic, A Tale of Two Cities? It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. Aren't those always the choices? We don't always know where the future might be taking us or what changes the future may wrought. No one ever has. But wherever it is, the only way anyone ever got there was by putting one foot in front of the other and then doing it again. I think that's true for this fellowship. Right here and right now in 2026. We have a past to look back upon with satisfaction, but we have a future to look forward to with hope. And I think we're blessed with leadership and with a lot of you members who envision that future with anticipation and with joy, and you welcome it. I think this is true with this entire country. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair, and right now it is a winter of despair for a lot of people. But we can't simply long for some idyllic time in the past, hoping that good things will happen. We have to do whatever we can do to make sure the right things happen, even if it means just showing up. We stand on the shoulders of those before us who looked around and saw injustice and hate and intolerance and said, "We can do better than this. We're better people." And right now I'm encouraged by the thousands around the country who marched in bitter cold this winter to say that again. We have choices. And we're better than this. And I think this is also true for us as individuals. I'm not the same person I was when I graduated from high school or college or even seminary. And I have to tell you, I have often read back through some of the old sermons I preached as a young pup, and I'm amazed sometimes when I read those old sermons that some church member didn't shake my hand at the end of the service and say, "Well, Reverend Johnson, that was a bunch of baloney." As the years have moved on, I've had to give up some ideas and some beliefs that no longer serve me well, nor serve the world around me well. I've had to give them up in exchange for some new perspectives, and hopefully I've learned how to hold on to even those new perspectives with a loose grip. And so when people ask me what I think about this or what I believe about that, I tell them what I think. And then I add this caveat. But you might want to get back with me sometime, because I might change my mind again.
Thank you so much, John. That was very meaningful. Those slides, though, golly. I remember stoves like that. All right. This is Love Will Guide Us, because what's going to get us one foot in front of the other? Love will. Let's rise as you are able in body or spirit and sing this song. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us, will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels,
change to what's in your order of service. This is our Butsaman. Those of you who've been here a while have probably seen the ones from the last couple of years. In keeping with the tradition that we've had at this fellowship the past few years, our children have built it. This is a piece of Pennsylvania Dutch witchcraft tradition called Urglawe. It comes from that tradition. So the Butsaman is a little scarecrow. It's a piece of puppet magic, and it has things inside that grew over the last year. This is literally the child of last year's growings, and it's here to help us grow this season. Growing is hard. Sometimes it hurts, but this is a little happy man, a little happy person that can help us. After the service, we will walk the Butsaman around the property so that it knows exactly who it's here to protect and what it's here to help grow. I'm going to pass it around. What you do is you're going to put inside the thought of whatever it is you want to grow. These are things that you want to grow this season. These are not long-term, many years goals, but things that you want to grow and change in the next few months. I know there's plenty to grow and change in the next few months without me having to look forward years.
Go ahead.
So take a second, breathe it in, go ahead and give it the doll what you want to grow. It's going to be on our altar. It has been traditionally where it sits. You're welcome to bring gifts to it if you like. Also, in keeping with our tradition, our children have named this Butsaman. So they also decided on what face to give it. They did that this morning in services. It has clothes. It is considered in the very poorest of taste to take clothes from a Butsaman. So I would like our children to come forward, or those who are still here, and we will share the name of our Butsaman. Oh, Joseph's kids are already gone. Okay. So the name we have chosen for the Butsaman this year,
his name is Pine.
Pine. They decided they wanted something that grew to be its name this year. So when we're finished, we'll just put it at the back, and if you would like to join us after the service to walk the Butsaman around the property, you're welcome to do so. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Dinah Nash, your Justice Team lead person, and I want you to know that the team is just really here to encourage you to be active. We're not the ones all doing justice. We are motivating. That is our job. So in case you are like me, there are many days when I don't know what to do about the current situation politically. And so I'm offering that the No Kings March that's coming up Saturday, March 28th, is a time you can just put your personhood out there and come walk with us down Dixon Street.
Okay, now we're going to extinguish the chalice. So all together, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts till we are together again.
To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven. So wrote the writer of Ecclesiastes. There's a time to be born and a time to die. And in between, there is a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away. And I think we would all agree that it's always the right time to seek love, justice, mercy, and truth. Amen.
Hey, where's the boots I'm on? I want it. I need it.